Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining us for our next live session. I'll be your producer for our session, but before we start, I do have some quick housekeeping. Please take a moment to read our code of conduct. We seek to provide a respectful environment for both our audience and presenters. While we absolutely encourage engagement in the chat, we ask that you please be mindful of your commentary, remain professional and on topic. Keep an eye on that chat. We'll be dropping helpful links and checking for questions for our presenters to answer. Our session is being recorded. It will be available to view on demand right here on the Microsoft Reactor channel. With that, I'll turn it over to our speaker for today. Thanks for joining us.
All right, so welcome everyone to these sessions, which is where another series of these sessions where we are learning more about the get started with the Power Platform fundamentals. And this is as part of the Copilot in Agents from Zero to Hero series that we are having. And today, let's talk more about the Power Platform fundamentals. And this is where I have myself here, which is a technical trainer at Microsoft based off in Singapore. And I'm going to empower you more about the Power Platform. And today we also have Anita here, which is the moderator that will help to answer some of the questions that you may have in the YouTube. So please feel free to ask any questions that you may have, right? And then these questions will be answered throughout the sessions, so that we can also have some sessions at the end later on as well. Now, for this, we also have this learning path here, right, which is where Copilot and Agents from Zero to Hero. And this is where we have this link here, Copilot and Agents, FZTH. So you can just scan the QR code and this will bring you to this learning path here that we have. And you will be able to have read this self-paced learning material that we have. And we are able to, get you through the learning that we have today, right? So it's just a 30-minute session. So that's why this learning material is for you to bring back and to have some takeaway from our sessions here and also for the series. Now for today, my agenda is simple. In just this another 29 minutes, I'm going to walk you through some of the basics of Power Platform and what is Power Apps and Power Automate, and also the Dataverse, which is the core components in Power Platform. And the final thing is the Copilot Studio, right, which is where you are able to build the agents. And I hope that all of you are ready for the day, and let's go. Now, Power Platform here, everyone. This is where we have the different components right here. It's a low-code platform that span across the Microsoft 365, Azure Dynamics 365, and the standalone apps, right? So we have Power BI here, we have Power Apps, we have Power Automate, and Power Pages. Of course, each of them, they serve different purposes. So Power BI is more for business analytics. Power Apps is for the app development, right? And Power Automate is for the process automations through the flow that we are creating. And Power Pages is for the external facing website. And all of this here, as you can see, there is a data connectors, right, which is where they are able to connect to the different system and the different system and the different data stores as well. And this is where we have the AI builders, which help you to include the AI functionality into all these different platforms that we have, and also Dataverse as part of the data storage in this Power Platform, right? So all in all, this is the Power Platform. And of course, there's actually one more, right? That's an addition here. We call it as a Copilot Studio, where you are able to build your agents, your custom workflow. And you can also use this together with the Power Automate that I will show you later on, together with the Copilot Studio. So all in all this, they are all related, so that we all can use this together to make great things happen. Now, let's have a look at the first two things here, which is the Power Apps and the Automate. Right, now, first of all, Power Apps. So Power Apps is a Microsoft platform that allows you to create the custom app quickly, right, without the need for advanced coding. Sounds amazing, right? Because this is where it's a low-code tools for you to develop application for web and mobile devices using the low-code resources, right? So I'm going to show you some demonstrations right now, right? So I will show you the Power Apps and then later on one by one, right? So right now, where is it? Okay, give me a moment. So I will come back to you here. Right. So as you can see from my screen here right now, I have my Power Apps. This is the Power Apps interface, right? Where we have your login, right? And you have your environment, right? This is where we have the solution here as well for you to build your solution. All right, so you can create the different environment for different purposes. And now let's say you also have your apps, you have your create here, your flows, your table, right? So all of this. Now let me just quickly go and create some simple app, right? You can start with Copilot, or even start with data, or even start with a paid design, or start with a blank canvas here as well. Now I'm going to just start with the Copilot here, right? So that I can describe what I want and look at what they are able to do it for you, right? So let's say I wanted to have an expense tracker app, right? Expense tracker apps, all right? And you can just generate this and they walk you through the process to generate the apps that we have. Now, of course, we are not going to go into very details about the different apps that we have because that's for another day. So, but right now they are going to put the things together for me right now, and they are going to generate some requirements for me, and I will just follow through the different tasks that we have in here. And I will just follow through the different tasks that we have in here. We are able to just a few minutes as well. Now, if you can see from here that we have this already here, we have the apps category, the expenses here as well, and you can just save and open the app right now. This is the table that we have, right? Of course, it's a dummy table. You can choose to, add your own table as well. But right now, I will just save and open the app. Okay, so you can see that they are going to open the app right now for you. Okay, so as you can see here right now, they are actually loading the app interface for you. Okay, so they are loading everything for you for your you can just view this, right? So in just a short while, you can see a workable app right now here. Okay, almost there. It's just taking on some time to work on the backend for you. All right, as you can see, voila, we already have a workable app here. All right, this is where we have a welcome screen, the category, and also expenses in here. And we can just play about it, right? Preview this thoroughly. You can see there's a category here, your expenses in here, and this is a welcome screen. And you can just click on these expenses here right now, and you can see there's a few expenses already in here. I can just click on new in here, and you can just put on amount here, 14, all right, category, transport, right, amount, of course, we can just put on the name here. This is for travel, okay, amount here, I believe, let me see if I can add in, right, don't think can, but it's okay, let me just click on something else here, right, and okay, right, and we are able to click it, right, which is where we have this amount base here, $14, right, and of course you can also see there's a different view here that they have, so that you can preview how it looks like in the different applications that you have, the phone devices that you have, all right, in here. Then this is where you can also customize the application, right, that we have in here. You can also add in more, text label, edit form, text input, right, different input that you have, the buttons, right, chat box, display, right, and a lot more in here, right. So it's a low code platform for you to develop these items here that we have, right. So sounds awesome. You don't have to write a line of code, but of course you can still do some calculation in here if you need to do some logic in there. All right. So this is what the Power Apps is look like. All right, is for you to develop the applications. It's a very fast and secure way as well. All right, now the next thing that I'm going to show you is this Power Automate, where you can see that Power Automate is a cloud-based service that enables you to automate the repetitive tasks and streamline the business processes. All right, and this is where right now, if you can see, we have the different processes here, right? So if you think about some of the process that you would like to automate, Power Automate is the one that you should be using, right? So it provide you a local interface here, all right? Now, the same thing here, I'm going to go through a demonstration here for you, all right? And you can see how this Power Automate in action. All right, now let me just go back to my Power Automate. Okay, so this is where we have this here. Okay, this is where we have this here. And if you can see here, this is the Power Automate. Right, the same thing, we also have environment here. We also have logging details here that we have. And if you can see here, we have home. And of course, as you can see, we also have the Copilot in the Power Automate, right? So there's some suggestion here for you as well, right? There's also the different templates that you can also start off with, right? To think about, right? So you do not need to think about what kind of flows that you want, but you can leverage on some of these, these great things that we have here. All right. So right now, we are going to create a simple flow here. Right. Maybe we start from here. We can use some of the suggestions here as a demonstration. So let's say when a new item is created in SharePoint, send me an email. Okay. So this is where they are going to walk you through some suggested flow, as you can see from here. All right. So this is where the Copilot is awesome. If you have something that you are in doubt, right, you just have to tell them what you want to achieve, and they'll work on to you. Right. As you can see from here, when an item is created, get my profile, send an email. Right. If you think that this flow is great, you can just keep it and continue and create a flow. And at this point of time, you will see that they have created the flow for you, right? And of course, it's not done configure yet. You still need to configure some of this, like when an item is created on your SharePoint. So where is your SharePoint, right? So this is where you need to tie it to your SharePoint here, all right? Your list name for your SharePoint, and this is where we can take on the vacation approval here. And there you go, we are done. When later on someone creating the vacation approval in the SharePoint, then they will get my profile and then send an email for me that someone is applying for the approval, right? So we can just proceed to save it right now at this point of time. And by the way, you can see that in this flow here, we can also add in a lot more flows, right? A lot more connectors in here as well. So add the different actions, the different capabilities here that we have, right? You can have your Microsoft Teams, Microsoft Dataverse, Microsoft Forms as well, and so on and so forth down here. All right. Of course, right now I'm just starting off with the simple one, and we can just test it right now manually. And with the testing here, then they see it working, you perform the starting action, which is what you need to add into the SharePoint. Now, let me go on to my SharePoint here right now, m365copilot.com. All right. Yeah. And at this time, you will see that we are going on to our SharePoint. Okay, this is my SharePoint here. And I'm going to go on to my personal SharePoint here, Vincent. And at this point of time, I have this vacation approval here. And this is where right now I'm going to create a new item in this SharePoint list. So let's just wait for a while. And we can see that we can add a new item here. And we can enter the value here, Vincent's on vacation. All right. And when is the start date? This is where we can have this end of the month up until early of December. Right. Comments is Vincent on November time off, right? And this comment here later on, maybe you will see that in the email, right? But depends. So I'm going to show you that later on. And you can see that right now we can save this. So at this moment, my Power Automate flow, I don't get any put in the comments here. All right. So right now we will go back to my Power Automate. And at this point of time, they will take some time to successfully run the flow. And you will see this being successfully run as well. All right. You'll see this will be successfully run for you in here. All right, just wait for a moment. They are going to get you to that. Right, almost there. There you go. Your flow ran successfully. So when item is created, get my profile, send an email. And now what we should do is that let's go on to our mailbox and check on the email that we are supposed to get. Right. So this is my demo account here. So you will see that in you see here, new SharePoint items has been created. And this is where we should be able to get this. Vincent on November time off is here. All right. So this is where we'll have this here right now. So that's how easy is it for you to do a Power Automate flow in here, and with the help of Copilot as well. And of course, the one that I show you here is a very basic flow right now. We already succeed running the first flow that we have, which is about 48 seconds ago. You can have all this being monitored here as well, so that you can know how is this performing as well for you. All right. Now this is about the Power Automate, and this Power Automate is very powerful because you are going to use this together with the Copilot Studio later on for your agents, because agents are the one to call your custom flow as well. Right, agents are the one to call your custom flow as well in that. And this is why right now the next thing that I'm going to talk about is the Dataverse and Copilot Studio. So before about the Dataverse, before the Copilot Studio, let's talk a bit about the Dataverse here. So a Dataverse is actually, as you can see here, they comprise of all these components with a security here, so that you can also allow authentication. There's also logic for your table, right? Plugging, right? Your data here as well for modeling, right? Relationship within the table. There's also a storage that you can store your files, right? Semi-structured data, your log files, and there's also integration with the different system as well via webhook or via APIs or via some of the GitHub as well in here. So Dataverse, if you are using cloud platform, Dataverse is something that we will consider to use as the data platform. Now, I'm going to show you next thing here, which is the Copilot Studio. Right, this is where you are going to create your own agents. And without further ado, let me just show you with a demonstration here. All right, so now I'm going to go on to my Copilot Studio. All right, I hope everyone is so far so good. This is my Copilot Studio here, where I have my, the interface here. Right, there is also, a Copilot here to help you with that. All right, and you can see that I have created a lot of agents here. But before that, let me just show you how easy is that for you to create an agent. You can just click on this create. There's also some preview agents here. You can just click on new agents. All right, and you can describe what kind of agent that you would love to have, right? Or even just configure them manually in here. So maybe I will describe that I need a expense claim agent. Okay, you can just simply mention it to them. And you'll see that they will ask you whether the name for you is it okay, expense claim assistant. If you think that it's okay, you can just say yes. So they are bringing you through the experience here, everyone. Okay, they are bringing you through the experience here. Okay. All right. So as you can see here, if you are okay with that, of course, you can add more instructions for that. But for right now, I believe I'm okay with that. I will just create it right now and wanted you to see the agents that we have created so far, right? Of course, this is just a starting point. There's a lot more to configure. So you can see there's an overview here, right? There's also an overview here that you can see, right? Description, what is your agents about, right? Your agent model, all right? The instructions for this agent, right? So what is this instructions for the agent so that they can perform whatever that they need, right? In a way, okay? And also we have this knowledge here. So this is a knowledge source for the agents to draw the answer from. Let's say your company have your own policy. You can also get the agents to refer to this policy so that they are able to respond to you, right? More reliable answer. There's also a tools here, which is where you can add the tools, and then you can add your agent flow. That is the Power Automate flow that we mentioned about. You can just click on this and you will see something very familiar here, which is where you have your designer in here that you can add on the different flow items in here, right? So you have your teams and all that right in here. Okay. Now, I'm not going to build this agent right now. I'm going to show you an agent that I have built, right? That have a very powerful, ideas here for you to take away. All right. So now this is where I'm going to go on to the agents here that I have, which is the IT support for Certis, right? Just a name here. Okay. So not necessarily any company. So just a name here, but it's an IT support agent here that I have. And what this is going to do is that, let me just open up my database here, which is on an Excel. All right. On the Excel here. And right now we are going to turn on my status of IT ticket. Okay. And at this point of time, this is our kind of database here. And let's move on to the next here and click on this, our agent here. And now let me show you what happens here right now. Okay. I want you to take a look at this row here, focus on this row here that we have 1212. And let me just wait for this to load so that we can test this right now. You can see that right now we can test this agent. And what am I going to do is that I'm going to ask for the status of the ticket number 1212. So what's the status of ticket number 1212? Now, I want you to have a look at what kind of response that you are getting in from the agent. And this is where they will tell you the status of ticket number 1212 is in progress, right? And please let me know, right? So if you need to take a further action. Now, let's say I wanted to update the status of 1212, right? So update the status of ticket number 1212 to close. And my hands are here, everyone. I want you to have a look at what they are going to do with my Excel here. Right, so 1212 is going to, all right, oops, looks like something is happening here. All right, so 1212 here, let me just run this once again. Actually, they call the functions here, actually, they did call this flow, but looks like they got stuck somewhere. Let me try to run this again, because I want you to look at this 1212 here will be updated to close. All right, there you go. 1212 is already being updated to close. All right, so this is how this works. And right now you might be curious on how do I do this exactly, right? After I creating my agents here, right? So I have an overview here, right? And this is where I'm leveraging on the Power Automate here, everyone. And leveraging on the Power Automate here to build the flow, right? To update my status of ticket, to get the specific status of the ticket number here. So if you can see here my flow that I have here. So you can see that this is a cloud flow here that I have. Okay. And at this point of time, you can see that I have this get status of specific ticket. And at this point of time, I can just edit this, and we will be surprised to see that this is how easy the flow is that we have. Where agent call the flow, I pass in the ticket number because I need to get the status of the ticket number. And then I get the row here, which is where I put it onto my status of IT ticket, right? And then passing the ticket number here. And my output is the status from the Excel that I have, because I can get the whatever from the previous in my flow. Right? These are the previous data from my flow that I can actually add it into my response. Okay. Now the next one here, which is where we have the update the status. So you might probably already figure out how this will be like, right? This is where, let's say we say update the status of ticket here, right? And at this point of time, you will let me look at the edit here. Okay, so the same thing here, and when agent call the flow, I pass in two input, which is the status and the ticket number, because we need to update the 1212 to become, let's say, close, right? And this is where I update the row here, point to our Excel file, and then we find the ticket number, and then we update the status here. So it's a writing process here, and hence we do not need to have any response to the Copilot. So as simple as that, everyone. So to how all these platform, Power Automate, even the Power Apps, right? You also import the solutions into your Copilot Studio to help you to build the agent, right? And this is what we have for you today, right? Just introductions to the Power Platform that we have, which is the Power Apps, Power Automate, and the Copilot Studio. All right. So with that, everyone, I will just call this out again. So keep learning. So you can also scan this QR code for some of this learning material that we have compiled for you. The organizers, the team has compiled for you, so that this is a collection for the Copilot and agents from zero to hero. All right. So let me see what else that we have. Right, or else I think that should be all for us tonight. And this is where myself here, so you can connect with us on LinkedIn. So just find out Vincent Scott and Anita on LinkedIn. So this is a sessions probably brought to you by both of us. Right, the questions and answers. I also been seeing some of the questions from you, right, and also the answers that is provided by Anita. So thank you so much, everyone, for your interaction, for your the curiosity in there. And I think with that, if I also wanted to call out for the next session here that we have, which is the November 13th, right, which is 6 a.m. PT, right, from draft to delivery, evaluate your work with the Microsoft 365 Copilot. So if you wanted to learn more about the Microsoft 365 Copilot, we encourage you to join the next session here that we have. All right, with that, is there anything else for anyone? Let me see. Can you show the QR code? Yes, let me show you the QR code once again. All right, quickly scan it and you will be able to have this. Right, or just screenshot this, which is where we have this link here. All right, I believe you can also find all this link below the YouTube. All right, the sessions here that we have. So we will probably send you these resources as well, so that you can keep learning and continue to learn. Okay, so with that, everyone.
Thank you very much, everyone. Thank you, Vincent.
Thank you, everyone. Bye-bye.